Hello folks, Richard Reyes, the financial quarterback and investor coach. Let's talk about gold today. Gold, 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 gold. So many people are talking about gold is the place to invest. Why? Because there is a fear of inflation. And they especially think that gold is the best way to fight this inflation. It's true that just about everybody thinks that inflation is inevitable. Our government printing money that they don't have, all these global bailouts, and the global economy will eventually come together and make this a reality. This is the textbook example of how inflation is created. So everyone agrees that it's time to hedge our portfolios against inflation. However, there's a vast disagreement on how it should be done. Obviously, some folks suggest that we should gobble up all the gold out there and just invest in gold, or others believe that we should buy U.S. Treasury inflation-protected securities. All these are no-brainers, especially to those who tout these moves. But I have a different thought, and I'm going to share it with you. Number one, of why we shouldn't invest in gold. Number one, nobody knows when the inflation train is going to pull up in the tracks, folks. Nobody, okay? Sure, the economy has improved and we're way off our lows of the recession. However, prices in the economy are going down, which means that this is deflation, not necessarily inflation. At the same time, inflation is really not a big factor until wages start going up. And as you all probably know, we're probably a little bit away from that happening. Number two reason why you shouldn't invest in gold is, I don't know if you noticed, but the returns on gold have stunk. Go down here. Go to this chart down here I want to show you. There's three basic columns. On the left-hand side, we have the annual growth of the S&P 500 index. Column C is the gold prices for each year, and column D is the annual growth rate of gold. Folks, scenario number one shows that over the last 30 years, $1,000 invested in 1977 grows to a whopping $36,000 after 30 years invested in the S&P 500. The same $1,000, if you would have bought gold in 1977, which was 6 ounces of gold, in 2007 your $1,000 grew to a whopping $5,100. Folks, at any given day, correct me if I'm wrong, $36,000 is always greater than $5,100. Let's take a look at scenario number two, which is over a 20-year period. That same $1,000 grew in the S&P 500 to $9,193. The same $1,000, if you would have invested in gold, would have grown to $1,700. Again, $9,100 is always larger than $1,700. Scenario number three shows that over a 10-year period, that $1,000 in the S&P 500 would have grown to $1,825, and in gold it would have grown to $2,914. So what does this mean? Well, besides the last 10 years where gold performed better than the stock market, it's clear that gold cannot compete over the long term with the stock market returns. So what this means is that we should not jump on the gold bandwagon. If you do so, all that you're doing is chasing performance. I want you to take a look at this also in a simpler way. Back in the 1920s, gold was about $20 an ounce, which was at the same time the cost of a nice man's suit. Now, with the price of gold, what can you get? Well, again, a nice suit. See what I'm saying? The stock market will far more outpace inflation than gold will over the long term. Gold has done nothing but keep up with inflation. There has been no gain. Number three is, remember, the same factors that will fan inflation, which is strong global economic activity, will also grow corporate earnings, which means that is great for the stock market. In fact, earnings often always outpace inflation. If that is the case, then a diversified global portfolio can help you take advantage of the coming inflation with less potential risk than putting all your bets into gold or commodity. You're probably, over the long term, going to be a lot better off with a long-term approach and sticking with your stock market investments. Okay? I'm the Financial QB, and I'm helping you create wealth, ignore Wall Street, and get on with your life. Forget about gold.